Israel, the Holy Land, where history and prophecy intersect. A small nation carrying a significant destiny, influencing the entire world. From biblical promises to dramatic historical upheavals, Israel has always been at the center of unsolved mysteries. What will be the fate of this nation? What is their role in the end times? Join The Truth About Bible Prophecy to explore the secrets of Israel, decipher prophecies, and discover the truth about the nation's destiny. In this video, we will explore the history of Israel's formation, from the time of Abraham to the birth of the modern state of Israel. Analyze crucial biblical prophecies concerning Israel, understand the spiritual significance of Israel and its role in God's plan. Discuss the challenges and opportunities Israel faces. Israel, the land of biblical stories and a long history, has always been the focus of the world's attention. The nation's destiny, from its formation to the upheavals throughout its history, seems to be intertwined with mysterious prophecies. We will delve into deciphering these mysteries, based on the Bible and historical analysis, to better understand Israel's role in the grand scheme of things. Israel's history, a journey through prophecy. The history of Israel is a long and turbulent journey, originating in the Old Testament with God's promises to the Jewish people. According to the book of Genesis, God promised Abraham that he would give the land of Canaan, present-day Israel, to his descendants. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring, I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. The establishment of the modern state of Israel in 1948, after more than 60 years of effort by Zionist advocates, marked a significant turning point in the nation's history. The Jewish people's desire to return to what they consider their homeland has been evident since the Babylonian exile after 597 BC. However, the conflict with Palestine, stemming from territorial disputes and religious and cultural differences, remains a persistent issue. Nearly half of Israel's land is semi-desert. This has impacted agricultural development and settlement throughout Israel's history. The period of the kings. This period is considered Israel's golden age, beginning with the leadership of King David. This talented king unified the country, established Jerusalem as the capital, and brought peace and prosperity to the nation. Continuing his father's legacy, King Solomon, with the great wisdom granted to him by God, built the first temple in Jerusalem, a magnificent architectural structure symbolizing God's presence among his people. Division and exile. However, after the glorious era under David and Solomon, the kingdom of Israel was divided into two, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. This division, along with a decline in faith, led to internal conflicts and the weakening of both kingdoms. Consequently, both kingdoms were conquered by neighboring empires. The kingdom of Israel, north, was conquered by the Assyrians in 722 BC, while the kingdom of Judah, south, was conquered by the Babylonians in 586 BC. The Jewish people were exiled from their homeland, living in slavery and loss. The return and rebuilding. Amidst the suffering of exile, the prophecy of the return of the Israelites was preserved. This prophecy was fulfilled when King Cyrus the Great of Persia allowed the Jews to return from Babylon. They began to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, restoring the spiritual and cultural life of the nation. However, this return was not a complete restoration. Israel still faced many difficulties and challenges in rebuilding the country and asserting its position. Roman rule. Under the rule of the Roman Empire, the Jewish people once again endured oppression and loss. In 70 AD, a tragic event prophesied by Jesus in the Bible. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. "Do you see all these things?" he asked. "Truly, I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." The Romans occupied Jerusalem and destroyed the Second Temple. The Jewish people revolted against Roman rule, But the Bar Kokhba revolt, 132 to 135 AD, was brutally suppressed, forcing Jews into exile throughout the world. The Zionist movement. Despite living in exile, the Jewish people never gave up hope of returning to their homeland. In the late 19th century, the Zionist movement emerged, calling for Jews to return to their ancestral land and establish an independent state. Theodor Herzl, considered the father of modern Zionism, led this movement and laid the foundation for the birth of the modern state of Israel. The birth of the modern state of Israel. After nearly 2,000 years of exile, the dream of the Jewish people came true. In 1948, the State of Israel was established, marking a significant historical turning point. This event was not only a political victory, but also a testament to God's faithfulness to His promise. The Arab-Israeli Wars. Since its establishment, Israel has faced numerous wars with its Arab neighbors. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, the Six-Day War in 1967, and the Yom Kippur War in 1973 were fierce wars that left severe consequences for both sides. However, Israel demonstrated its military strength and ability to defend its country. The Six-Day War in 1967 was a pivotal event in Israeli history. In this war, Israel achieved victory against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, occupying the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. This victory significantly expanded Israel's territory, but it also increased tensions with its Arab neighbors. The peace process. Despite many difficulties, Israel has achieved peace agreements with Egypt and Jordan. The 1979 Egypt-Israel Peace Treaty and the 1994 Israel-Jordan Treaty of Peace were significant steps in the Middle East peace process. However, the conflict with Palestine remains a major challenge for Israel. Israel's history is a long and turbulent story, written by promises, wars, losses, and hopes. The journey of the Israeli people is a testament to the power of faith, perseverance, and the desire for freedom. Recently, Israel continues to face security threats, including missile attacks from armed groups like the Houthis in Yemen. In 2021, the Houthis launched missiles into central Israel, forcing residents to seek shelter. Although no casualties were reported in this attack, it demonstrates the security challenges Israel faces. In addition, the conflict with Palestine continues with complex developments. Despite some progress in negotiations between Israel and Hamas, the road to peace remains long and arduous. These major historical events have shaped modern Israel, a dynamic and modern nation that also faces numerous security and peace challenges. To objectively assess Israel's destiny, the following factors need to be considered. Geopolitical factors. Israel's strategic geographical location in the Middle East constantly exposes the nation to security risks. Israel is situated among Arab nations, many of which still do not recognize Israel's existence. The conflict with Palestine and armed groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in the Gaza Strip continues to be a constant threat to Israel's security. However, Israel also has important allies, especially the United States, and has built a powerful military force to defend the country. Recently, Israel has been experiencing a turbulent period. The assassination of Hezbollah and Hamas commanders, along with internal unrest and protests, has created a tense atmosphere and a sense of insecurity within Israeli society. These events demonstrate that the security challenges Israel faces remain significant. Economic factors. Israel's economy is strong, particularly in the high-tech sector, creating a solid foundation for the country's development. Israel is known as the startup nation, with a vibrant innovation ecosystem. Israeli technology companies are leading in many fields, from cybersecurity to high-tech agriculture. This economic development is a crucial factor in helping Israel maintain its strength and stability. Social factors. The religious and ethnic diversity within Israeli society is both a strength and a challenge to the country's stability. Besides the Jewish population, Israel also has a significant Arab community, comprising about 20% of the population. The differences in religion, culture, and politics between these two communities sometimes lead to tension and conflict. However, Israel is also a democratic society where all citizens have equal rights before the law. Spiritual factors. The strong religious faith of the Jewish people is a crucial factor that has helped Israel overcome difficulties and challenges. For many Jews, Israel is not just a nation, but also the promised land, the place God promised to their ancestors. This belief has helped the Jewish people maintain their cultural and religious identity throughout thousands of years of exile, and continues to be an important source of motivation for Israel's development today. Based on the above analysis, it can be seen that Israel's destiny remains uncertain. However, history and biblical prophecies suggest that this nation will continue to exist and play an important role in the future of the world. Biblical prophecies concerning Israel. The Bible, especially the Old Testament, contains numerous prophecies about Israel. These prophecies not only foretell the formation and development of this nation, but also reveal Israel's role in God's plan. The promise of the promised land. God promised Abraham and his descendants the land of Canaan, which later became Israel. This promise is reiterated many times in the Bible, affirming that this land belongs to the Jewish people. The return of the Jewish people. The Bible prophesies the return of the Jewish people after their exile. In that day, the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to reclaim the remnant of his people from Assyria, from Lower Egypt, from Upper Egypt, from Cush, from Elam, from Babylonia, from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The return from Babylon. After 70 years of exile in Babylon, a significant number of Jews returned to Jerusalem and Judah under the leadership of figures like Ezra and Nehemiah. This was the initial and clearest fulfillment of the prophecy. The ingathering of Israel in modern times. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 marks another remarkable fulfillment of this prophecy. Jews from all over the world, including places mentioned in Isaiah like Ethiopia, Cush, and Yemen, have returned to their ancestral land. This process continues to this day. This was fulfilled with the birth of the modern state of Israel. This event is considered a miracle in modern history, affirming God's faithfulness to his promise. This prophecy can also be understood figuratively, referring to the gathering of those who believe in Jesus, both Jew and Gentile, into a single spiritual nation. The Apostle Paul addressed this in his letters to the Romans and Ephesians, stating that Jesus broke down the dividing wall between Jews and Gentiles, creating one new man in him, the final redemption. Ultimately, this prophecy also points towards the final redemption of all humanity when Jesus returns. At that time, all who believe in him, regardless of their ethnic origin or social status, will be gathered to enjoy eternal life. In summary, the prophecy in Isaiah 11:11-12 is a hopeful promise of restoration and redemption. It has been partially fulfilled in history and will be fully realized in the future when Jesus Christ establishes his kingdom. Jerusalem, the holy city. The Bible refers to Jerusalem as a holy city, the religious center of three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For the Lord has chosen Zion. He has desired it for his dwelling, saying, "This is my resting place forever and ever. Here I will sit enthroned, for I have desired it." God chose Zion, not for any inherent value, but because of his will and purpose. This demonstrates his special love and favor towards the people of Israel, the eternal presence of God. He declares Zion to be my resting place forever and ever. This does not mean that God is limited spatially, but rather speaks of his commitment to be with his people and bless them from that place. This psalm was written in the context of King David, bringing the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, establishing it as the center of worship for the Israelites. It expresses hope and trust in God's promise of His presence and blessing upon His people at Zion. However, this promise also has meaning beyond the historical context. It points to God's presence with His people in all ages, regardless of where they are. In the New Testament, Zion is also used to refer to the church, the spiritual dwelling place of God. Therefore, Psalm 132, 13-14, reminds us that God is always with those who trust in Him, and He will bless them from His holy dwelling place. Israel's role in the end times. Many biblical prophecies indicate that Israel will play a crucial role in the end times before the return of Jesus. I am going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples reeling. Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves. Zechariah describes Jerusalem as a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples reeling, and an immovable rock. This implies that the city will become a source of dispute and war, causing surrounding nations to be drawn into a vortex of conflict. History has and continues to demonstrate this. Jerusalem has always been a focal point of contention among powers, religions, and peoples. Its strategic location and religious significance make the city a constant target of struggle. On that day, I will set out to destroy all the nations that attack Jerusalem. Despite being besieged by nations, Zechariah affirms that God will protect Jerusalem and its inhabitants. He will fight for them and defeat their enemies. This indicates that, although Israel will face many challenges and dangers in the end times, they will not be destroyed. God will protect them and ultimately grant them victory. These prophecies indicate that Israel is not just an ordinary nation, but carries a special spiritual significance. Israel will play a central role in the end times. They will face many challenges, but will ultimately be protected and redeemed by God. The restoration of Israel will be a sign that God's plan of redemption is approaching its culmination. The existence and development of Israel are a testament to God's faithfulness and a crucial part of His plan of salvation. Israel's destiny. Deciphering the mysteries. Israel's destiny is a complex topic that attracts the attention of many scholars, theologians, and politicians. There are various perspectives on the future of this nation, ranging from optimistic to pessimistic. Many believe that Israel will continue to prosper and play a vital role in promoting peace and stability in the Middle East. They argue that Israel's strong economy, powerful military, and growing international standing will help the nation overcome any challenges. Some are concerned about the security challenges Israel faces, particularly the conflict with Palestine and neighboring countries. They believe that the prolonged conflict and instability in the region will hinder Israel's development and could lead to unpredictable consequences. The Bible indicates that Israel will go through difficult times, but will ultimately be restored and become glorious. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord, because you are called an outcast, Zion for whom no one cares. This prophecy expresses God's unconditional love and mercy for His people. Even though they have sinned and been punished, He does not abandon them. He promises to heal and restore them. For those experiencing suffering and despair, this prophecy brings hope. It reminds us that God is always with us, even in the most difficult times. He will heal our wounds and bring restoration. God's word affirms that God will never abandon His people and will always protect them. God always keeps His promises. This prophecy is an assurance that He will do what He has said. Israel, the land of promises and historical upheavals, has always been the focus of world attention. The nation's destiny is intertwined with mysterious prophecies, requiring careful deciphering and reflection. By analyzing history, the Bible, and influencing factors, we can gain a better understanding of Israel's role in the grand scheme of things and the challenges and opportunities this nation faces. Israel's history is a testament to God's faithfulness to His promises. The return of the Jewish people after nearly 2,000 years of exile and the establishment of the modern state of Israel are major historical events that fulfill biblical prophecies. Although the future remains uncertain, the Bible indicates that Israel will overcome all difficulties and continue to exist. God's word promises that He will never abandon His people and will always protect them. Faith in these prophecies and the strength of the Jewish people will help Israel continue to develop and contribute to world peace and stability. Israel's existence is not just a political matter, but also a spiritual one. Israel is the Holy Land, where God has acted in history and will continue to act in the future. Israel's destiny is linked to God's plan of salvation, and this nation will continue to play a crucial role in fulfilling biblical prophecies. Thank you for watching this video. We hope the information presented has helped you better understand biblical prophecy and strengthened your faith in God. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends to spread the message of love and hope. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss our latest videos on the Bible, prophecy, and truth. Be sure to check out our related videos to explore more mysteries and truths about biblical prophecies.